Luigi was sitting at a corner table inside a small, dilapidated cafe, sipping a black, bitter liquid, the colour and taste of which described his mood with uncanny accuracy. There would be no great deed. Prince Henri of Orleans, claimant to the French throne, had changed his plans, and would not be coming to Geneva, and life would carry on in much the same way, one disappointment following another, just as it always had. Why had he thought that it would be any different this time? He had been a fool to think otherwise. This was his fate, his destiny, to be frustrated at every turn. Abandoned by his mother, shunted between foundling homes and charitable institutions, labouring, vagrancy. Only once in his life had he experienced contentment, and that was while serving with the cavalry in North Africa. Apart from this single exception, his existence had been unremittingly wretched. It occurred to him that he might remedy the situation by returning to Italy. King Umberto would be easy enough to find. Unfortunately, Luigi had no money to pay for carriages or trains, and the distance was too great to walk. One day he would die, and thereafter it would be as though he had never lived. The thought filled him with cold horror. It was still very early, and the other tables were empty. The proprietor, whose physique was oddly angular, lit an oil lamp and hung it over the open pages of a ledger. He licked the end of a pencil and began making entries. A mangy cat jumped up onto the counter and mewed for attention. Luigi heard the sound of footsteps and the accompanying tap of a cane on cobbles. A bell rang, and a man entered. He was wearing a long coat and had the appearance of a gentleman. With unhurried movements, he removed his hat and gloves and caught the proprietor's eye. The cat arched its back, hissed, leapt off the counter, and skittered into darkness, its claws unable to find adequate purchase on the floorboards. A mysterious communication seemed to take place between the stranger and the proprietor, because the proprietor nodded, as if agreeing to a request, and immediately followed his pet into the kitchen. The stranger looked directly at Luigi. He was in his 50s or early 60s, and his pointed beard and aquiline nose created a devilish impression. Lucifer, in the guise of an aging libertine. He sauntered over to the corner table, and without asking permission sat down in a vacant chair. "Well, my friend, I suppose you've been considering your options." His Italian was slightly accented. Luigi raised his eyebrows. He didn't believe in magic, but the stranger seemed to have read his mind. "I don't remember having been introduced. You are?" The stranger smiled, and the slow retraction of his lips made him look even more diabolical.